This is Money Motivation to Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of the show is Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that can and will change your life. Jason, there is not a whole lot of other things more important to talk to right now than what's going on with our federal government. And that is the shutdown that has now, as according to the recording of this particular episode, which is we're recording on November the 7th. So we are now 38 days into what is now the longest shutdown in the history of the United States. Now, a couple of the things that I want to make everyone aware of, and really this is information, because when things like this happen, most of us don't really know exactly why or how we have gotten to this point. And with this shutdown, we're going to have to probably do a couple of episodes here, and we certainly will. But starting with where we are right now in 2025, the government shutdown affects millions of people, including right now at about 1.4 million federal employees that have either been furloughed or are working without pay, as well as U.S. military. Now, we have furloughed 600,000 federal employees, and there are 800,000 federal employees who are still working without pay. And as we know, a big thing right now is the air traffic control being shut down, where not only people not being able to go to a destination, and a lot of that being for personal and business reasons, but think about all of the mail. And I don't know that people know this either. When American Airlines, let's say, and they're going from Dallas to Los Angeles, they sell the bottom of their airplane to UPS, to FedEx, to the United States Postal Service, to carry cargo for them to another destination. And when that type of opportunity and transportation shuts down, so does the transportation of that communication that's in the bottom of that airplane. So lots of things like that go on as well. Now, when I said it does include the military, some of the military of active duty is actually being paid from temporary funding. But nevertheless, it does affect them. All your Social Security and disability checks do not get affected, which is a huge, huge thing. Now, national parks and museums are all obviously shut down, and no disrespect, but who cares? The IRS, which in my professional work has a great deal of effect on a lot of people right now, because your tax returns that were filed in October, your late tax returns, your refunds, etc., all those things are being delayed. I mean, maybe, and a lot of that stuff is automated. And like you said off the air, are they still cashing the checks? Yeah, absolutely they are. And they're still sending out late notices on mail or something that they think that you still owe. Now, like I say, a lot of that's automated. And here's the big deal with that, where you have sent in mail to rectify the problem that you have with the IRS, and that mail's not being worked. And now that computer is sending out that demand letter, that ugly letter, getting you all excited, and that computer continues to do things that you've already responded to. But there's nobody there to open that letter and put that information into the computer. Therefore, I'm waiting, as we now in 38 days and the longest shutdown in the history of the United States, seeing when it's going to start affecting people by maybe leaving their checking account for a penalty or interest or a tax that's owed, that really isn't owed, but it's owed on the IRS's computers. Therefore, it's owed, even though it's not. That's where we're going with that. Now, another big deal here, as was discussed, is SNAP, which is our food stamps. funding for that program has ran out. That did get extended, 30 days to November 1. And let me also go back here before I get into food stamps and SNAP. I really wasn't even aware in my 56 years of life that the United States government is on a physical year that starts October the 1st and runs till September the 30th. So we're not on a calendar, we're on a physical. That's why on October the 1st, we could not get an agreement between the congressmen and the senators and the reps, the House, the whole bunch of them, to get this thing passed, whether you like it or not, with a majority. And I believe the House did pass. Then it went to the Senate, and the demos did a filibuster. So then no longer you need a majority. With a filibuster, you now need 60 of the 100, 60%. So that makes it that much more difficult because obviously neither party has a majority. And
what's 60% majority anyway?
Yes. Well, 60%. Yeah. The party, the Republicans right now have a majority, but not enough to get 60%. That is correct. We're at 53
Republicans,
45 demos.
Yep.
And 2 independents.
My understanding. Yes.
Yes. And they basically have all kind of lined up along those aisles. And didn't you tell me offline you thought 2 Democrats had joined to make it 55?
I know of one. There must be 2. I don't know which one if it's an independent or a couple of Democrats that are voting yes for the continuing resolution.
And here on this Friday, I think they're also having a vote trying to get there today too. And haven't they had like 17 votes during this 38 days?
Every 1 to 2 days, it seems like.
They're having a vote.
Yeah.
And we just can't get there.
Yeah.
So the fiscal year. And most people believe that, you go to Congress and that you have a budget set up. And I don't know why. Here's another thing, Jason. Why do we care about a budget? We never stay with it anyway. Right? Why do we really care?
Yeah.
How come we go over here and now we bail out everybody in the world? We send billions of dollars all around the earth for useless, goofy, foolish things. And we can't even take care of our own by raising our hands, voting, and getting something passed to take care of the U.S. taxpaying citizens. We can't do it. Just can't do it. You know what? We are that freaking stupid, Jason. And it just aggravates the fool out of me. Now, back over here on food stamps. And frankly, I know people get down on their luck and they need a little bit of help. And for those who listen to this show know that I'm not a favor of give outs. How many people in the United States of America, Jason, do you think are on food stamps right now?
I think it's like 40 or 50 million, is it?
41 million.
Yeah.
Are on food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we trying to resolve that problem? Do we have that many lazy folks in the United States of America?
Yeah. What is the population of America? It's 350.
350?
Yeah.
Yep. Something like that. I mean, that's over 10%.
Yeah.
That's aggravating. So, like I say, big problems there with our shutdowns, etc. And now we've extended it as far as it's ever been extended in the 250 years going on here in 2026, the 250 years of the life of this great nation. And we are now on the longest shutdown in the history because we have 535 people up there who can't get on the same page. 535 people are affecting 350 million. Did you think about it that way? Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, who you blame, who you don't blame, vice versa, it makes zero sense to me. And frankly, I know that this side of the aisle is wanting this and that side of the aisle is wanting that. And I probably line up more with not giving than I do with giving. But at the end of the day, I blame them all. How can you not get there? No blankety blank sense. But here we are, and we do it. And let me give you a little update, or a little bit background history. and I've got a lot of statistics, but I think as this show continues on, we're going to move into the next episode of our show. So I'm going to have them, keep them hanging for 3 more days on this other good stuff. But obviously a government shutdown occurs when funding legislation required to finance the federal government is not enacted before the end of the fiscal year. And that fiscal year is September 30th, or ends on September the 30th, which obviously shuts down a lot of things and disrupts. It's not only the national government, the United States government, it disrupts state and local areas as well of our government, because they all intertwine a little bit. And obviously the monies that are done at the federal government level are passed down to our states for different various things, not all of it, but the funding gap where we are right now continues to be. And as of November of 2025, we've had 11 funding gaps that have led to federal employees being furloughed that I will get into on our next episode. But here we go with some of the most, and by the way, did you know, Jason, that our first shutdown was not till 1980? 1980.
No, I did not know.
1776 to 1980. And since 1980, we're now on number 11. What has happened in the last 45 years that did not happen in the first 205 years? We're so smart, we're stupid.
Country's becoming more divided, and they're looking for any way to push their agenda.
Yeah, and what is the way for me to get what I want, to not give you what you want?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, somebody's going to give in and give.
Right.
And maybe they're not. Apparently, this is the longest not give in on either side. So here is the most significant historical shutdowns, including the current one. All right. So this is President Donald Trump's second presidency, and this one began October 1st. Now we're 38 days in. Back in 2018-19, under Donald Trump's first presidency, we went 35 days over expanding the barriers on the U.S. and Mexico border. 35 days. There was a 21-day shutdown in the 95-96 areas of the Bill Clinton administration over opposition to major spending cuts. There was a 16-day shutdown in 2013 with President Obama administration over implementing the Affordable Care Act, which has a lot to do with one of the issues right now. Didn't you tell me off air that they're wanting to increase health insurance by $1 trillion or something?
The initial ask was $1.5 trillion. I think they had cut it down to like $20 billion.
Well, they should cut it down. Here I go with my opinion, and I don't even care who's for it and who's against it. But the Affordable Care Act, and it was real close between 2016 and 2020 of going away. The Affordable Care Act has made it unaffordable for a whole lot of people.
I know back in the day, prior to Obamacare, my insurance wasn't that bad.
See, I wasn't going to go that way, Jason. I was just going to go with the Affordable Care Act.
As soon as it went out that following year, it jumped drastically. It didn't save me any dollars.
Family of 4, private health care.
Mm-hmm.
This is me. Before Obamacare, as you said.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. Some people call it the health marketplace.
Sure.
$480 for a family of 4. $5,000 deductible. Today, the family of 4 is right at $2,500.
Yeah, that's a couple percentage points, I'd say.
I had a client this week who is in the home health business call me and talk about the ramifications that they're going to have to do away with health insurance because they're having another drastic increase, and they're going to have to do away with it within their company. And they're in the healthcare business.
Wow. It's gotten out of hand.
It is out of hand. And the Affordable Care Act, see, here's what they don't think about. It is a subsidized program. The less you make, the more subsidy you get. Just like with all these other programs we have, including food stamps. So then what they don't think about is, all right, so you make $30,000. So your health insurance, let's say is, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. I have no formula in front of me telling you how this is. Because frankly, I've never called in to the health marketplace to see what it would be, because I know I'm not going to be able to get it. Or I'm not going to be able to get a subsidy. So you make 30 grand, your household makes 30 grand. So your Affordable Care Act insurance is $300. So person who makes 90 grand, why wouldn't their health insurance be $900? They don't get any subsidy, but why wouldn't their health insurance be $900?
Yeah.
Family of four, $90,000. Health insurance, $2,500. So you're over here subsidizing with the people who are making 90 grand a year. And then you have just went up 3 and 4 and 5 times as much on their health insurance. Now, I just spent more time than I should have on the Affordable Care Act, because you got me riled up when you said Obamacare.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. And a good thing to point out here with this is, because it is a major sticking point with the two sides not being able to get to 60 votes in the Senate. And there it is. Okay. Now, that was 4 of them. The other 7 shutdowns in the history of the United States of America lasted 5 or fewer days. Did you know that?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be getting into those on the next episode. But right now, the monies that don't get put into circulation by that government employee right there not getting their paycheck this week, think about all the things that it affects. So, Jason, you know, when a dollar gets paid to a person, however they've earned it, that dollar stays in that community 7 times before it leaves that community. That's a lot of times. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You get paid. You go to the grocery store.
Yep.
You've now spent it there. They've taken that dollar now and paid that employee. That employee now goes down the street and pays for their daycare. That daycare worker now gets paid. Mm-hmm. That daycare worker goes home and pays their electricity bill.
Yep.
You know, so now I pay my electricity bill, and now that gets paid to somewhere in another state.
Yeah.
Now that dollar's left.
Right.
And that happens over 7 times that dollar gets utilized in that community. And how many of those 1.4 million people, how many dollars do those 1.4 million people make on a daily basis, get paid monthly? That's not right now out in the government of the borders of the United States of America because of our government. And how long will it take for that to be replaced? Only in 38 days, a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, those 535 men and women, which right now I'd just be glad to call them children, can't go out there and get something done to get this shutdown behind us, because it's disrupting so many people out there. And it's like it's all about me. I really don't care who it affects back at the house. You can always find us at mx3.vip on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MX3 podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified of all the new content, which Jason puts out every Monday and Thursday morning around 9 o'clock. And of course, always go down in the comments section of our YouTube, which I believe right now, are we over 240,000?
We are over 240,000.
240,000 with 6 weeks to go and only needing 10,000 people to hit our goal for 2025. And as we know, Money Motivation and Mike talks a lot about being goal driven. send me an email, info@mx3.vip, and stay tuned as I will continue to bring you more stuff on the government shutdown on our next episode. So for everyone who's been a part of this episode of Money, Motivation, and Mike, continue to live your life the right way.